part 2, you guys froze on me and I wanted you to have the rest of this tutorial. So this is the second part to it. So welcome in. Okay. Hi, sweetheart strings. So I cannot do wire wrapping, Kathy. That is the one thing I stink at. But you know, the thing to think about, she brings up a great point here, and it was one of the things I was going to talk about, is when you're wire wrapping, the color of your wire also you need to take in consideration. You can have colored wire, and that needs to be one of the colors that you're thinking about. Or if you do macrame type knotting, that is another one. And you more than just macrame. There's other types that you can do with knotting. They have different names and such, different techniques. Any of those, the color of your thread or wire is part of the color wheel. I know, but I stink. I have tried. So, yep. So that is one of the things I was going to tell you too. I mean, I literally have it down on here to talk about that. Your bead shapes, you have to think about as you're putting them together. I love when you have squares. I don't know. I love cubed or squared beads. But the thing is, do not put square next to square, because when it moves, you're going to see whatever you strung the beads on. I don't sell the color wheels. The color wheels you guys can get on Amazon or any place, you know, you can Google where to get them. I just have never found a place where I can buy them in mass quantities for the price that you can get them at other places. There are a few things that I don't sell. One of them is crimp tubes. They're sterling silver crimp tubes. I do not sell those. I don't sell color wheels, and I don't sell, why all of a sudden, there was like 3 things, and one of them went out of my head all of a sudden. I mean, I will sell all different types of things, but that is one thing I don't. But thinking about your size of your beads or the shapes of your beads next to each other also creates the eye appealing. So it's not just your colors that you're selecting, but it is your beads you're selecting. And then one thing you want to think about is if you are using faceted beads and you like that sparkle, sometimes it's not as appealing to put a non-AB or a non-faceted bead next to it, because it's so, and the word that sticks in my mind is it's more of a matte finish than that sparkle finish. And so sometimes you need to look at how many, or the facets on it, how many facets. If it has a lot of facets, it will be a lot more sparkle. So if you want to use faceted beads but not have the sparkle, choose beads that don't have as many facets and use that with a round bead or a bead that doesn't have a facet on it. Hello, Unstoppable RR. So those are things to think about. The other thing is that I actually do like if you take a matte bead and a non-matte bead. So we're talking like an unpolished or frosted bead next to a polished one, if it's the same bead. I just love that contrast. So you can do something like that, or you could go to the opposite color and have one be matte and one be polished. Well, thank you. So that's what you can do also. Another thing, when I select beads, well, Buttercup took all of my pieces of paper. She was coloring over here. Hold on. I'm going to write down yours, Joya, but I got to get pieces of paper. Buttercup used all of mine to color the other night. When I was doing my packaging live on Sunday, she was actually sitting over here coloring away at my table, just hanging out with us. But I usually, when I'm doing sizes, I will do different sizes. I just don't do different thicknesses. I try to keep them all the same thickness as much as possible. But I will put 6mm, 8mm, and 10mm beads all together. Buttercup is actually my granddaughter. So I have 4 adult kids and I have 1 grandchild. She is 8. and she's with us right now. So we have her for a little bit. And so we literally, she's in here a lot. Tonight she is hanging out vegging because she had a hard day and she's tired. She is doing very well in school. Thank you for asking. She's making new friends. She wants to go to the football games. It was funny because this next football game is an away game and is it an indoor arena instead of outdoors. And so we have chairs that you have to sit in. You can't just like run around from friend to friend and type thing. And so she's like, yeah, nope, I don't want to go to that one. If she can run around and see her friends, then she's all happy. So we're just grateful that she's having a good year so far. So those are some of the things. I hope you guys got something out of this about how to select beads based upon the colors and also based upon their shapes and sizes and faceted, if they're polished or unpolished or matte, and how you can mix it all together. So it's more to me than just your color wheel to picking beads. And I hope you understand everything that I'm trying to say. And if you have questions, please put them in the chat because I really do appreciate you guys asking questions so we can learn more. Oh, good. I don't do a lot of theme. So doing what Zuli does for like her creative challenge themes is very, very difficult for me. That is something that is very hard for me. But for Zuli, it is easy. And so I admire each of you that can take what she has for a theme and go with it. Because that's one thing. Okay, Patty, so we're not the only one. The trays behind me, I will tell you. Let me grab one that's full here. Hold on. All right, here's one that's full. These are my bead trays. There's large. These come in like you get large, medium, small, and tiny size trays in there. They actually come with like, I can't remember how it is. It's like one of these, two of these, two of these, and one of these, I think is what it is. But they're called Elizabeth Ward Bead Storage Solutions. And that's what I have in all my beads. I have them done by the color and the type of beads is how I have mine all sorted. And this is my actual personal bead collection. It's not what I actually sell. But that's what I have for my beads. And then these are the plastic ones that you can get. My kids' beads go in that. What I would make kids jewelry with and stuff. Or when I teach kids to do jewelry, those are the beads that I would take with me. I haven't done a kids one in like a year. Yep, and I will tell you guys, I did not get those when I started out. I have been making jewelry for 19 years now, and I did not get these. It took me between 2 and 3 years to do my whole bead wall behind me because they are expensive, and I was even getting them at a discount. And I literally, I've had them now for, I probably started like year 9. So I've had them for a few years. Yep, it took me 2 to 3 years to convert to all of these. They're not something that I could do overnight. So I know people say that they want this, that they strive for this, but I want you guys to be realistic that this didn't happen overnight. It took years to get there. Yep, I put all my beads in these, and then I have a container that I have my wire in. I buy my stretch cord in bulk in a big, huge cylinder. And then I have like a tool, like where you put nuts and bolts, and that has some of my things that I use regularly, like my crimp tubes and that kind of stuff are in there. Oh, let me look. Let me go back. You know what? I actually have gotten the pamphlets at the color store. and use those for inspiration when I get stuck too and I happen to be there. Yep, Elizabeth Ward. Yep, bead storage solutions too. So yeah, like I will go into the paint store and I'll be like, I want to use this color of a bead. What can I use for those? And I will go in there and do that. I've done that a few times. I don't do it a lot, but I've done them before. And so I literally, you guys see me pull them out. So yep, there you go. That works. And that's the thing. If you find something that works for you, stick with it and go. And the reason why I say that, even with the storage, because I saw someone said that they are on, like, they keep finding something for different storages. So literally, we've talked about my storage here too. My sister uses a box for everything. And it was funny because I had seen on, I don't even remember if it was Discord or TikTok, but somebody had their bead crafting area and it looked like chaos in my mind. But in someone else's mind, that chaos is their creativity. So what I want to say is just because I have this doesn't mean it works for everybody. I want you to find something that works for you and stick with it. My sister can create in the chaos. My sister creates using, when I used to get, like you've seen me bring the box in and do the unboxing of what I got for an order for like a bead sale and how it's all in just in a box. She works grabbing beads out of the box. I could have 10 boxes on the floor and she's going to go through there and find everything she wants to go together. And that works for her. When I start putting them in this, it's not for her. I have another friend that when she tells me, I want to make something in blue, and I grab 10 trays of blue and set them out, she can't do it. It's too much for her. What I have to do is say, which shade of blue do you want? Do you want a dark? And I know we talked about shading. How about value? But in her words, she uses the word shading. Does she want a dark blue, medium blue, light blue, aqua? And if she can get me to that one color that she wants, I can lay out 2 trays for her and she can pick out beads. And so what I want to say is that not everybody creates the same way. And we don't have to have organization to be creative. But in my world, when I get unorganized, I then can't create. So that's why I have to be organized. So I will always say, find what works for you and go with it. Don't look at a picture and think because it's beautiful, that's what you need. I want you guys to really, really work in a way that works for you and not look at someone else. I don't want you to think you have to be like your neighbor. I don't want you guys to think that this is the magical way to create jewelry by having this bead wall. I really want you guys to create with what works for you in your mind. You know, Janet says she has lots of jelly jars, and having them all out and seeing all those colors on a wall in a jelly jar, that works for people too. And I thought that's what I wanted, but then I figured out I have too many beads to put in jars. So that didn't work for me. Yep, stackable containers. So that's what I want you guys to think about when you're thinking of all of this and thinking of how can I create? Because when we're picking out the beads, you have to be able to find the beads. And like if Buttercup or if my husband comes in here and moves something in my bead room, it's horrific for me because then I'm like, it was right here and now I can't find it. Yeah, okay. You do it by vendor. That is really cool, Denise. I would have never thought to do it by vendor. And it's just because I think about, I'm looking for the bead. I don't think about who did I buy it from. I literally never thought about that, but that works for you and I love it. I love it. So that's why, you know, This color wheel won't work if you don't know where your beads are at. And you have to figure out where your beads are at by a method that works for you. So they all go hand in hand, everything that we've talked about tonight. Yep, I do put that on in my each one of these. There you go, Janet. Each one of my little containers, I'm just gonna grab one here. So with these, they all come with little stickers that you can put on the top here, and then in there, it's got information that you could put on it. Well, I knew with how much I went through these containers that having those stickers just wasn't going to be advantageous for me. So I actually took the sticker sheet, photocopied it, and I cut them out and I put them inside the container. So you're going to see a white little paper on every one of my beads. It goes to the back side so I can see the beads, but it tells me what the vendor it is, how much it costs, and what the number is. So if I ever want to reorder it, I can try to reorder it. If it's been 10 years since I ordered the bead, I probably won't be able to get it again. And even with some of my suppliers, even if it's 6 months ago, I might not be able to get the bead either. So, but I do have it just in case I want to. There you go. And that works too. So yeah, so that's what I want to say is find what works for you. Do that. One of the other things I was going to say tonight about the color wheel is that, you know what, the shading in here really, really helps me. So that's why I'm really, really saying, like, if I pick out a bead that's this right here, and I am so set on, I want the green that is number 3, and I go here and I just can't find it, realize you don't have to stick with that green. You can go to the yellow, or you can go to the red. You can go to a different one that's a number 2, or maybe go to number 1 here and keep it monochromatic. Don't pigeonhole yourself while you're creating that it has to be only this bead. Keep your mind open to doing another color on the color wheel to get what you need, because you have that bead on hand. Just because you don't have this bead doesn't mean I need to stop creating. I need to think what else can go with this one. I hope that helps you out too, because I did that a lot when I first started making jewelry, is that if I didn't have the exact bead and the exact shape that I wanted to go with this one, I was done. I stopped that day. And the thing is that I've learned I will keep this bead out, and next time I bead, I might find a bead that will go with it because I got out of my block. But I've also learned, just because I couldn't find this one, let me grab a different bead and try making something with it. Yep, and that's okay. You literally, that can be your thing. Because the thing is that we all create jewelry differently, and when we do our in-person or our vendor shows or our online vendor selling, that type of thing, you will create something with the same bead and someone else will create it completely different. And it's because that's what makes your jewelry unique, is because you made it with your thoughts in mind. Yep, we're talking about color. And those of you that here on TikTok, if you did not see the whole thing and want to see it, you can always go over to YouTube and see it. But I had a glitch in YouTube tonight, which I've never had before. So there's a 1 and then there's a part 2. Yep. What I'm saying is create it and make it your own. You know, when we do the tutorials here and I teach you a technique, I absolutely love seeing how you take that technique and make it yours. I find the utmost joy that a technique I taught you, you can make it yours. You're not copying me and doing exactly what I did. You're making it yours. And the thing that might scare you is don't go with the exact opposite. Go straight across and then pick the hue in the tint or in the shade, which means one that's added with white or one that's added with more black, and go lighter or darker. And that makes it just more settled. and then maybe it won't hit your mind so bad. Try that, Patty, and see what it says, what it does. Let me know what happens. Because even when you did the cha-cha bracelets, you did different colors together and they turned out awesome. So you can do it. Yes, it is. And it is called, here is what the paper looks like. I know it's backwards. And it comes in a little square like this. So it will be in here like this. I'll show you what it kind of looks like. Oh, I showed you. How about the English version? You get 2 languages with it. So it'll come something like this. I'm getting it back in here. So it'll come something like this. If you see it out there. It's called Pick, Point, and Match Rainbow Color Selector. All right. Sorry, hats. So that was what I was going to teach you guys and gals tonight. I hope you found it informative. Please let me know when you guys are, picking out colors. Did this help you? Or did it totally confuse you? Because I can try to work on making this a little bit better. But I really want to try to help you out. So just let me know, okay? All right. Well, I'm going to go and put Buttercup to bed. You all have a wonderful night. I'll be back tomorrow night. We will be doing a chat. So probably as part of the chat, I may show you guys what we have up for sale for beads on Friday night. You're welcome, Crafty. So if you want a sneak peek, we'll probably do that tomorrow night. I'm just ran out of time tonight because I try to keep it to an hour. All right, everybody. You have a wonderful night. See you tomorrow night, 8 p.m. I will tell her. And she hears that all the time from me, so I'll tell her that it's from you too. Oh, you're welcome, Patty. I hope it was beneficial. All right. See everybody tomorrow. Bye.